Bonjour, everyone. So, you're learning French. That's awesome. But let's talk about that one thing that can feel, well, a little intimidating. We're talking about pronunciation. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and crack the code on all those tricky sounds so you can go from confused to confident.
You know that feeling, right? You see a word like oiseau or baku, and your brain just kind of freezes up. You're thinking, wait, what? Where do I even begin with that? Trust me, you are not the first person to feel that way. It's a rite of passage for every French learner, and it's exactly what we're going to clear up right now. Okay, so here's the single most important thing you need to understand. In English, for the most part, what you see is what you get. The letters on the page give you a pretty clear map to the sound. In French, you have to throw that idea out the window. The spelling is more like a set of clues than a set of instructions. Getting this idea in your head is the real first step.
So, let's start with something familiar. Section 1. Same letters, new sounds. You already know the building blocks, but you're about to see how they're used to create completely different music.
And here is some really good news. You don't have to learn a whole new alphabet. A, B, C, you know all these guys. It's like you've been handed a guitar and you already know all the strings. Our job is just to learn the new chords, the French ones. That's a huge head start. Okay, on to section 2, the core vowel sounds. Now, this is really the heart of the French language. If you can get a handle on the vowels, you're well on your way to sounding much more authentic. For the most part, these are pretty simple. A is A. I is a nice clean E sound. O is O. Nothing too crazy there. But then we get to the letter U. Ah, yes, the tricky one. This one's a little different, so it deserves its own spotlight. This is the sound that trips up so many English speakers, but I have a trick that makes it so much easier. Seriously, try this with me right now. First, just make a long E sound. Got it? Okay, now keep making that exact sound, but don't change anything in your throat or tongue. Just round your lips really tight, like you're about to whistle. That sound you're making? That's it. That's a perfect French oo. All right, you tackled the oo. Feeling good? Okay, because now we're moving on to the next level, nasal vowels. This is where French gets its signature sound. This is what makes French sound, well, so French. So these sounds, like the en in bon or the un in enfant, they're different because the air is passing through your nose. A little trick is to touch the side of your nose when you try to say them. You should feel a little vibration. The key is you don't actually pronounce the N at the end. The N is just a signal to the vowel before it to go nasal. It's a weird feeling at first, but it's a huge part of the language. Let's move on to section 3, key consonant differences. And here's some more good news. Most consonants in French sound pretty much exactly like they do in English. We just need to keep an eye on a few rebels that like to play by their own rules. So, here are the 4 you really need to watch. First, the French R. Please don't roll it with your tongue. It's not a Spanish R. It's a sound that comes from the back of your throat, almost like a very light gargle. Then we have H, the silent hero. It's almost always completely silent, so a word like just sounds like And finally, C and G. Think of these two as chameleons. They change their sound depending on what letter comes next. But luckily for the letter C, there's a super simple and predictable rule. If it's followed by an E, an I, or a Y, it makes a soft S sound, like in the word merci. If it's followed by anything else, like A, O, or U, it's a hard K sound, like in café. Once you know the rule, you're set. And here's the best part. The letter G plays by almost the exact same rules. It's like it copied C's homework. Before an E, I, or Y, you get a soft zh sound, like the S in treasure. Think manger. Before A, O, or U, you get that hard G sound we all know, as in gâteau. Same pattern, just different sounds. See? Predictable. All right, section 4, the secret of French silence. We've talked about how to make individual sounds, but what we're about to cover now, this is the master key. This is the one secret that unlocks the entire rhythm and flow of the language. And honestly, this changes everything. So, what is it? What's this number one rule that creates that smooth, musical flow that French is so famous for? Here it is. This is the big one. In French, you often just ignore the last consonant. It's there in the spelling, but it's silent. So a word like Paris isn't Paris, it's Paris. The word petit isn't pet-eat, it's just petit. This single rule is why French words seem to flow so beautifully into one another. Okay, last section, number 5, from spelling to sound. We've collected all the clues, so let's put it all together into a simple, clear roadmap for you to use. If you forget everything else from today, just remember these 3 golden rules. 1. Your eyes will lie to you. Spelling is a hint, not a command. 2. Vowels are everything. Really focus on that tricky U sound and get comfortable making those nasal sounds. And 3. The secret of silence. That final consonant on a word, it's probably silent. These 3 rules will get you through 90% of the words you'll see. And really, this all comes down to a shift in your mindset. You've got to stop thinking of it as reading letters from a page. You need to start thinking of it as learning to play a new kind of music. The letters are familiar, sure, but the melody, the music itself, is brand new. Your job isn't just to read the notes, it's to learn the music. So now you have the tools. You've got the decoder ring. You know the core rules, the key exceptions, and the big secrets behind the sound. The code is officially in your hands. So the only question left is, are you ready to go out there and really, truly start listening? Merci beaucoup, and à bientôt.